I call the November 7th, 2017 Riverton City Council Finance Committee meeting to order at 6:45 p.m. The chair would entertain a motion for the consideration of claims.
Madam Chairman, I would recommend that we move to approve consideration of claims to be paid in the amount of $471,761.89, with manual checks in the amount of $159,939.81, payroll and liabilities for 10/13 of 17 and 10/27 of 17 in the amount of $665,625.22, for a total of $1,297,326.92.
Second.
It has been properly moved and seconded. Does anyone have any questions about the bills? No? Okay. Then all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, same sign. Motion passes. Does anybody have anything they'd like to add?
Your Honor, I do not.
No? All right. Okay, then I will adjourn the meeting at 6:46 p.m.
I now call the November 7th, 2017 regular meeting of the Riverton City Council to order at 7 p.m. Would Councilmember Peterson lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and after that, Councilmember Hancock will offer an invocation.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we are grateful for the opportunity we have to meet and discuss the needs of the city of Riverton. We ask that it please help our minds to be quickened and that we can be enlightened as to the best way that we can better serve the citizens of this community. We thank thee very much for the opportunity to serve, and we say these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen. Would the city clerk please conduct the roll call?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilman Lance Godey.
Here.
Councilman Tim Hancock.
Here.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Here.
Councilman Kyle Larson.
Here.
Councilman John Peterson.
Here.
Councilwoman Holly Gibbon.
Here.
Mayor John Baker.
I am present and declare that we have a quorum. The chair would entertain a motion for the approval of the agenda as presented, with the addition of a presentation of Wreaths Across America proclamation before item number 9.
So moved. Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Communication from the floor, citizens' comments. Anyone in the audience wishing to address the council regarding an item that's already on the agenda will be given an opportunity to speak later on. I would ask those individuals who wish to address the council at this time to approach the podium and identify yourselves for the record. We've got you on the agenda after this.
After this.
We just did that. We just moved you to another spot. Okay? Oh, okay.
Hi,
Hello.
I'm Kelly Godey, and I don't know if everybody received the email that I asked Courtney to send you, but I'm here to talk to you about the 5K for Humanity. Did everybody receive? Can I give to those who haven't received? Who has not gotten the email?
I didn't get it. Thanks, Kelly.
Our flyer.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I didn't
you get this?
I didn't see it, but I've seen it, but I didn't get it. My own copy.
I've seen it.
You've seen it?
Okay.
So the reason why I want to speak to you tonight is, one, I want to invite the council to attend, if you can attend the event. And I want to tell you a little bit about where it came from and what it's going to be about. So I am on the Moccasin Lake Challenge board. We are now a 501c3. And our goal through the year is to bring events to Fremont County communities. We're trying to get all the Fremont County communities involved with wellness for mainly youth. We want good choices, but we provide that with challenges. So we're kind of trying to create grit in our community in a healthy manner with lots of good, healthy support. One of our challenges, as you know, because you know that I'm also on the Splash Pad Committee, is Riverton City Park. And the issues that we come across pretty much on a daily basis with those in our community that are really, really challenged, working through health issues. And so what the board, the Moccasin Lake Challenge Board, has decided we want to do is do an event that brings awareness to the issues. And we want to bring all those resources that could help to one place, to one event. And so what we've done is we're going to do a 5K, walk-run combination up Main Street to the Rails to Trails. The first aid station will be at Center of Hope. They've already said they want to be involved. There'll be a cheerleading group and aid station at that point. I invited Eric, and he's going to have an aid station for us crossing Main Street, right there at the corner of Major and Main at Jiffy. And then we'll have another aid station at Eagles Hope. So I've talked to Michelle Widmeyer, and they're really excited about it. Shelley at Center of Hope is going to donate dessert. We're going to have a feast at 11 o'clock. But most 5Ks ends, between 30 to 60 minutes. So we're going to have entertainment, we're going to have education resources, and I've got invitations to BIA, both business councils, Eric, the Volunteers of America, PMO, White Buffalo Recovery, and I've gotten quite a few yeses. So we're going to have a really big resource opportunity in City Park on November 18th. Between 9:30 and 12, and we're ending with a feast. So I just want to put the invitation out there to anybody on the council who wants to be, there to celebrate with us and help bring awareness and just provide that relationship building. So any questions?
Thank you. So the route's going to be from City Park,
To the Rails to Trail, or City Park up Main to Rails to Trails.
okay,
Adams, Riverview, Major Hill, up Major Hill to Main. So you'll cross Main there at Jiffy, and then all the way back down to City Park.
okay. All right. Good, thank you.
You're welcome, thank you.
Thanks, Kelly.
Kelly,
Yes, sir.
can I get one of those to put in the kitty?
I meant to give you one today anyway.
Thank you.
You want more than one?
Okay, I take one.
Hello, Mr. Mayor.
Oh, good evening.
For the record, my name is Carol Anderson, and I have passed out some information about snow removal, and I'd like to read my remarks for the record. There are 2 pages of data from the National Weather Service. One lists the all-time biggest snowstorms in Riverton. The other lists the top 10 snowiest seasons in Riverton. There is an article from the Ranger that I will be referring to in these remarks, 2 letters to the editor, and a copy of my remarks, which I will read into the record. My family moved to Riverton in August 1968, so we were here for 12 of the 23 top snowstorms and 7 of the 10 snowiest years on record. The city plowed snow to the center of the street until the fall of 2014. Immediately following every major snowstorm, and each storm during the snowiest years when snow was plowed to the center, Riverton's plowed streets had 2 lanes open for traffic and 2 lanes open for parking. No snow was dumped on cleared sidewalks and across driveways. No cars were plowed in, forcing owners to stand dangerously in the traffic lane to shovel them out. The paragraph that is highlighted in yellow in the Ranger article, City Plans Changes in Snow Removal, reads, Butterfield added that the piles in the center can cause hazardous obstruction when they reach sizes of 8 feet wide and 30 feet long. He asked the council to imagine having plowed to the center last winter on Federal Boulevard when there were multiple snowstorms in a span of a few weeks. Plowing to the center worked quite well in 2009, which was snowier than 2016, the year that Mr. Butterfield is referring to. When making left-hand turns, visibility is a factor when snow is plowed to the middle. But we learn to drive cautiously, and in the case of Federal Boulevard, we learn to use the traffic lights to our advantage. Instead of turning left at the light, we would drive a block past the light, turn right and go around the block, then cross Federal with the green light. It was quicker than trying to turn left because the turning lane was filled with plowed snow. We would purposely go to an intersection with a traffic light until the center windrow of snow was removed. The center windrow on other streets were not as high, but still required driving cautiously. Plowing snow to the curb also creates a visibility hazard. I had a lady come up to me after reading one of my letters to the editor exclaiming, "Carol, I totally agree with you about snow removal. Plowing snow to the curb is dangerous because by the time I pull my car out in a plowed street to where I can see if any traffic is coming, the front end of my car is in the lane of traffic, so I just stay home." In a heavy storm, where you plow snow to the curb, you block the view of motorists who are entering a plowed street from either their driveway or a side street. The visibility factor that Mr. Butterfield points to is an imperfection in both snow removal methods, not just plowing to the center. The increased snowfall of 2016-2017 did dramatically reveal how the liabilities of plowing snow to the curb are intensified. We could not park because the parking lanes were filled with snow. The amount of snow dumped on our sidewalk and across our driveway for the biggest storm in March took my husband 5 hours to shovel away because it was too hard and heavy for our fairly heavy-duty snowblower. It took him just under 2 hours to clear both the front and the back right after the snow ended the previous day. Driveways of elderly and disabled individuals were blocked. See Doug Novotny's letter to the editor. A vehicle was plowed in, preventing its owner from getting to work. See Dan Wimp's letter to the editor. So if we have another record snowfall, which would you prefer? Driving slowly and cautiously to make a left-hand turn around a windrow of snow plowed to the center, or standing in the lane of traffic to shovel your car out after the city has plowed it in by plowing snow to the curb? When I think of the mountain of snow the city would dump on our sidewalk and across our driveway after a 22-inch snowfall like happened in February 1987 and October 1971, I shake my head in disbelief at how quickly the city has enslaved all of us tax-paying citizens who live on plowed streets by forcing us into the snow disposal business. Until the fall of 2014, snow disposal on plowed streets was entirely the responsibility of the city. Then the city turned the blade to the curb and began dumping snow on us residents, forcing us to expend our time and effort or hire someone to dispose of the plowed snow. I do not understand this kind of thinking. I cannot support this kind of thinking. Thank you for your time.
You bet. Thanks, Ms. Sanderson. I think we're going to have another work session on snow removal next Tuesday.
I'm sorry, I have trouble hearing you.
I say I think next Tuesday we're going to have another work session on snow removal.
Oh, next Tuesday?
So we have not, at 7 o'clock, so we have not set a policy or made any changes. We're still working on it. I hope it doesn't snow before then.
Well, maybe I'll have some more information for you.
Thank you. Would the city clerk please read the consent agenda items by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Approval of the minutes, October 17, 2017, regular council meeting. Approval of the minutes, November 7, 2017, Finance Committee meeting. Approval of the Finance Committee recommendations for November 7, 2017. Approval of the municipal court report for the month of October 2017. Adoption of ordinance number 17-026 on second reading, planned unit development, an ordinance amending Title 17 zoning to establish Chapter 17.46 PUD combined commercial, industrial, residential, planned unit development of the Riverton Municipal Code and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for an effective date. Adoption of ordinance number 17-027 on second reading, rezone petitioner Habitat for Humanity, an ordinance amending the zoning district map of the city of Riverton, Wyoming, designating the rezone of lots 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A, Block 2, replat of Blocks 2, 4, and 5, College Hill development of the City of Riverton, Fremont County, Wyoming, from residential PUD planned unit development to R2 residential.
Thank you. Are there any items that require further discussion?
Your Honor. Recommendations from the Finance Committee for bills to be paid in the amount of $471,761.89. Manual checks in the amount of $159,939.81. Payroll liabilities for 10/13 of 17 and 10/27 of 17 in the amount of $665,625.22 for a total of $1,297,326.92.
The chair would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I would move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Okay. The next item is proclamation, Wreaths Across America.
Good evening, Mayor. Good evening, Council. Thank you for your time. I'm Captain Carl Falcon with the Civil Air Patrol. And before I speak, if I may hand out some fact sheets on the Civil Air Patrol and the Wreaths Across America.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to meet you.
First, I want to thank Mayor Baker and the City Council for giving me an opportunity to speak here tonight. On behalf of the Civil Air Patrol, I especially want to thank you for the proclamation to be used on December 16th at the upcoming Wreaths Across America event in the Mountain View Cemetery here. I believe this is an important beginning for the town of Riverton. To explain further, the Civil Air Patrol is a civilian volunteer auxiliary to the United States Air Force. I've had the pleasure and privilege to be an active member of the Civil Air Patrol for 10 years. The Civil Air Patrol is chartered by Congress with 3 missions: emergency services, aerospace education, and cadet programs. We have over 60,000 members nationwide, the world's largest fleet of corporate-owned single-engine aircraft. We also have one of the nation's largest networks of high-frequency radios and a large fleet of vehicles. Our air crews and ground teams save the life of about 100 people every year and perform many valuable services across the nation. My children and I have really enjoyed being members of our CAP squadrons back in Texas, where I come from. So when I moved here last summer, I quickly joined the nearest squadron, the Yellowstone Composite Squadron in Cody. It's a real privilege to be a member of this outstanding squadron of the Wyoming Wing. However, the long commute to Cody precludes me from attending the weekly meetings. Therefore, with the support of my squadron commander, Captain Jerry Cowles, I'm preparing to start a flight of the Civil Air Patrol here in Riverton that will be affiliated with a squadron in Cody for the near future. I believe this will be a very positive asset to Riverton and Fremont County in general, as it has been in Texas, where I come from. Now, while the U.S. Air Force does provide considerable funding and many useful and valuable assets to the Civil Air Patrol squadrons, each squadron is expected to fund much of its activities. One of the more common ways to do this, used by hundreds of squadrons around the country, is the annual Wreaths Across America event. Since 2007, this has been a nationwide event that now includes over 1,100 communities, and last year laid wreaths on the graves of over 1 million veterans. The event is primarily to honor our departed veterans and to keep their memories alive. Wreaths Across America also benefits the community by bringing together people of all ages from many different organizations. And furthermore, the funds raised at these events benefit many charitable and civic organizations that have a positive impact on our military that is far beyond what these sums would ordinarily do. I've already heard some criticism that this area is a difficult place to establish a CAP squadron. In years past, there was one in Lander that has since been disbanded. I've also heard criticism that though Wreaths Across America is largely built on sympathy for our honored veterans, the funds raised do not directly benefit or specifically benefit the veterans themselves. I'd like to answer these things right away and dispel such criticism. Yes, establishing and maintaining a CAP squadron is both difficult and uncertain. There's no guarantee it will work here in Riverton. However, I will tell you that it's worth every effort to try. In the years I've been in the Civil Air Patrol, I have seen lives, young and old, especially young, transformed in positive and exciting ways. In fact, lives have been saved in many ways through this program. It's an open door to many opportunities that could come in no other way to the residents of Riverton. Its success depends on whether or not this community will see that and value it. The funds raised for our CAP squadron in Texas were used for everything from helping struggling families equip their cadets to sending promising and deserving cadets to events and activities they otherwise would not have been able to afford. These activities are not just for fun, but the cadets receive intense training and conditioning that makes them ready for community service and actual Air Force missions. The Civil Air Patrol itself is constantly on the ready to respond to calls for search and rescue, community service, and disaster relief. Just as they served Wyoming in the Great Blizzard of 1949, this year they served people from Texas, Florida, and Puerto Rico that were devastated by Hurricane Harvey. I expect there are some in this room who are already familiar with what I'm talking about, and I believe I can count on their support. How about the rest of you? As for fundraising through Wreaths Across America, it's a nationwide endeavor for the organizations to honor our veterans. It's an ongoing effort that extends well beyond just one day in December. In fact, it's a sustained and growing event. 12 years ago, the Civil Air Patrol played a key role in starting the event in Houston, where I moved from. In the beginning, it was a small event with only a few hundred wreaths and dozens of volunteers. Last year, the combined efforts placed wreaths on all 80,000 graves at the Houston National Cemetery, and we had over 10,000 to spare that went to other cemeteries. Thousands of volunteers, including Scouts, Junior ROTC, the SAR, DAR, and many other individuals and organizations participated. It was led by high-ranking officials and media personalities and gave a very special platform to our revered Gold Star mothers to tell the stories of their children's sacrifice. Not only was there a crowd of thousands in attendance, but publicity reached across the state and doubtless touched many people in a variety of positive ways. The bottom line is that this has the effect of reinvigorating that culture of military service that is essential to the strength of our nation. The circular wreath used in this event is itself composed of 10 evergreen boughs and a red bow. The red bow symbolizes the sacrifice of life's blood on the battlefield. The circular shape reminds us of eternity and the need to regularly renew our commitment to serve in our nation's defense. The 10 evergreen boughs symbolize endurance and 10 qualities of belief in greater good. Love for each other, strength in work ethic, character, honesty and integrity, humility and selflessness, ambition with aspiration, optimism for America, concern for the future, and pride and duty, and hope and dreams. In short, this event celebrates what's good about our nation and the people who make it great. I'd like to think that our departed veterans are somehow aware of this and appreciate the respect we show them. This is the sort of thing I hope to bring here with your agreement and support. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Anybody have any questions? Okay. I have this proclamation. I'll read it. It says, whereas in 2007, the Worcester family, along with veterans and other volunteers, formed Wreaths Across America to continue and expand a ceremony beginning in Arlington. And whereas the nonprofit organization continues the Arlington tradition to honor veterans at cemeteries across the nation as part of its mission to remember, honor, and teach with the help of fundraising groups, corporate and individual contributions, donations, and volunteers. And whereas in 2016, Wreaths Across America national volunteers laid over 1.2 million memorial wreaths in 1,100 locations in the United States and beyond. Whereas the Yellowstone Regional Composite Squadron of the Civil Air Patrol participates in this nationwide volunteer effort. And whereas all wreaths will be laid at exactly the same moment, December 16th, 2017 at 1:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time in Riverton, Wyoming, at grave sites at state and national veteran cemeteries as well as local cemeteries. And whereas the number of wreaths laid depends upon the number of sponsors, and whether this is an annual event occurring each December as a Veterans Outreach Program to remind people of how important it is to remember, honor, and teach, now therefore, I, Mayor Lars Baker, by virtue of the authority vested in me as Mayor of the City of Riverton, do hereby proclaim Saturday, December 16th, 2017, as Wreaths Across America in Riverton, and urge all citizens to recognize and participate in its observance. Okay, thank you for coming. The next item is the introduction and oath of office of Tony Tolstedt. Well, Tony, this is going to be really fun. Okay, for me. Okay, this is going to be really fun for me, so I'll put this here while you can see it, okay? Raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear or affirm.
I do solemnly swear
Or affirm that I will support,
that I will support,
obey, and defend
defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
and the Constitution of the State of Wyoming,
that I have not knowingly violated any law
that I have not knowingly violated any law
related to my election or appointment
related to my election or appointment
or caused to be done by others,
or caused it to be done by others,
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
and that I will discharge the duties of my office with fidelity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome to Riverton.
Thank you. I'm assuming I wasn't supposed to say anything. You're welcome.
I'm trying to set a record. Get out of here in about 8 minutes.
Adoption of ordinance 17-025, third and final reading, Title 17 revision. Would the city clerk please read ordinance number 17-025 by title only?
Yes, Your Honor. Proposed ordinance number 17-025 by title only, an ordinance amending Title 17 zoning, revising Chapter 17.32 R2 Residential District, Section 17.32.010A uses of the Riverton Municipal Code, and repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict therewith and providing for an effective date.
Thank you. Chair would entertain a motion to adopt ordinance 17-025 on third and final reading.
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Discussion. Would the city clerk please conduct a roll call vote?
Yes, Your Honor. Councilman Lance Godey.
Aye.
Councilman Tim Hancock.
Aye.
Councilman Mike Bailey.
Aye.
Councilman Kyle Larson.
Yes.
Councilman Sean Peterson.
Aye.
Councilwoman Holly Gibbon.
Aye.
Mayor John Baker.
I vote yes, and the motion passes. The next item is the bid award for street sweeper, Fleet Sanitation Supervisor's Report.
Your Honor, members of the council, In front of you is a document with a recommendation for the purchase of a Schwartz street sweeper for the amount of $221,603.50. A little history behind this. Back during the budget session, staff recommended to the council, and the council ultimately approved and budgeted $280,000 for a new snowplow, or not snowplow, street sweeper, sorry. Snow's on the brain. Based on that approval, city staff began doing, preparing bid documents and specifications for this street sweeper. We published, initial publishment went out on October 1st, and on October 19th, we opened those bids in public. The first bidder was Ameritech Equipment Company, the Schwartz A7 regenerative street sweeper in the amount of $221,603.50. The second bidder was Titan Machinery Company, with an Elgin Crosswind regenerative sweeper in the amount of $254,442.59. And the final bidder was Intermountain Sweeper Company with a Timco Model 600 regenerative sweeper in the amount of $264,295. After reviewing those proposals and determining that all the bidders were responsive, and following state statute, we came up with our recommendation that it go to the low bidder of Ameritech Equipment Company for the Schwartz street sweeper.
Thank you. The chair would entertain a motion.
Your Honor, I make a motion that we award the bid for the street sweeper to Ameritech Equipment Company for $221,603.50.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
Your Honor,
Mr. Larson?
are these all capable, all three very similar in design? And, I mean, the difference between the $221,000 and $264,000, is there $40,000 worth of difference?
Your Honor, in answer to Mr. Larson's question, the biggest difference between the Timco street sweeper and the Schwartz is that the Timco has a center brush in the collection head, and that it sweeps beneath that head. It cleans a little bit better, possibly. The biggest difference with these newer models, such as the Elgin and the Schwartz, is their gutter brooms now can articulate into the center lane as well, where in the past they weren't able to do that. So basically what you were sweeping was the gutter and then making multiple passes to clean the street.
Okay. Thank you.
So I'm dying to know what a regenerative street sweeper is.
What those street sweepers do, and actually there's various regenerative sweepers. This is basically a mid-level model that regenerates the air that it's using as a vacuum. It filters it and blows out the other side of the collection head, removing dust from cracks and crevices in the roadway, and immediately vacuuming it back up without adding a tremendous amount of dust pollution
Into the air.
into the air.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions?
I learned something tonight.
Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Mayor votes aye, and the motion passes. The next item is council committee reports and council member roundtable. Ms. Gibbon, have you got anything for us tonight?
Just that we met with the school district 25 last night for our committees, and we ended up paying bills. Just to send out a reminder that if any other organizations haven't got their invoices in, that they need to get them in. So if they were granted any kind of money, because if they don't have them in by December 31st, they will not be able to turn them in after that, and they'll lose out. So that's it.
Okay, Mr. Peterson?
Yes, I met with Paws, and they have their Santa Pauses coming up on the 18th of November. So you can go do the run, and then after that, you can go get your picture taken with Santa Claus and your pets, and they're doing the cookie contest again. So it's one of their local fundraisers to help out with the pound down there. So if you get a chance, it's going to be at the Riverton Senior Center at 2 o'clock to 4 o'clock on the 18th. Go down, buy some cookies, get your picture taken with your dog and Santa, and support them because they do a lot for us in the community.
Good, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Larson?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Nothing. Mr. Bailey?
I did attend last night. There was a meeting of a group of people in Riverton that are looking at ways to possibly develop a plan to get a rec center. There was probably about 25 or 30 people at a meeting, including Lance and I. And again, they just bounced around a lot of different ideas and talked about all the things that we may need. Talked about getting some of the recreational groups, together to get a common plan. The baseball, the hockey, the soccer, all the different groups that do things in the community, to see, maybe assess what our community's needs are and try to move forward with something like that. So I guess there'll be more information to come. It was purely sort of a beginning first meeting, just some local folks that had an idea and invited a bunch of people to come. So
Good. Okay, Tim?
I don't have anything. I'm curious if they have another meeting scheduled, though.
December 4th.
4th, I think, at City Hall
Yep.
Oh, here.
That'd be here, huh?
in the evening, yes.
Is that a Tuesday night?
6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, I can't remember.
6:30. I think it was same time as last night's was 6:30.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, so we can open the doors and turn the chairs around the courtroom side and have room for a great big crowd of folks. Okay? Good. Mr. Godey?
Yeah, I was just going to mention that as well. I think I just kind of wanted to share that it was great to hear the community kind of coming together and just sharing different ideas. I kind of thought of this similar to the splash pad, similar to the skate park, when community members come together and really start brainstorming and being committed to finding a solution. A lot of things can happen, so I hope this is another one of those types of efforts that we can do something in our community that will help not only Riverton, but the county as a whole. So, and the only other thing I had tonight, I've had a couple community members approach me that watch our meetings on TV. Amazingly enough, I don't know how many of you ever talk to anybody who does watch on TV, but there are
people who do.
There are people who do. And one feedback that they have is that there are both staff and members who do not speak into the microphones, and it is very difficult to hear if you don't speak into the microphone. So I thought I would share that, and whether it's speak into or speak up, but
Yes, and so what you're doing right now, you're looking at me.
but I'm speaking right here.
Yeah, but you're not as close but when you turn back and look that direction, that's much
It does
louder.
help. It does help. We got to pay attention to that.
Right, so that's what happens is around the table, and yet we can hear ourselves just fine because we're here, we don't realize that we're not projecting.
They single out any offenders?
Perhaps. Perhaps.
Okay, so we'll constantly remind ourselves that we need to crowd the mic, okay?
That's all I have, Your Honor.
That's all you have. Okay, city administrator's report.
Thank you, Your Honor. Scoot up. Mayor and council, just a couple of items. We will as denoted before, have a draft snow policy discussion at the next meeting. We've been working towards completion on that, so we expect that to be completed at that time for your consideration. IDEA Inc. will be providing an annual report at the next meeting, at the meeting in a week, which is the work session. And you will also be considering, or we will be presenting first reading of the PUD for your consideration at that time. Additionally, I would just express my gratitude for the welcome that we've received to date and all the information that has been provided to me. The work that staff and council are doing to try to get me acclimated is very appreciated. It's a very fast time right now, so thank you very much. I have nothing else, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Steep learning curve, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you'll get it flattened out here in a couple of weeks, I think. Okay. Mayor's comments. It's probably I've gotten several comments recently about rec center and the potential for that, and so it's probably time we ran that back around again. We tried was it about 10 years ago or 8 years ago or
About
9 now? It'll probably be 10 years in the 10 years during the election cycle, right? So next year would be the 10th year. And that rec center proposal called for a capital facilities sales tax, and that got thumped pretty soundly. But not only did we talk about a rec center, but we were going to overhaul the fairgrounds and build an assisted living center at the same time. And I think those three issues kind of ran up against each other. And so it may be appropriate to try to move towards that again to see if we could build some support for a rec center. I'm really grateful that Tony decided to come to Riverton. I think it's going to be really good for us, and we look forward to his new, fresh look at what we've been doing. And so that'll mean, for some of us, we'll have to spend some time trying to justify what we've been doing in the past. And as he learns what we've been doing and what our theory has been and our effort, the reasoning behind our effort in the past, and so we may have an opportunity to rethink some of the things that we do on a regular basis and look for some ways to improve our performance. There's always room for performance improvement, and so we need to be receptive to that. And that's, I can't think of anything else right now that I need to address. So,
Your Honor, you did say we were going to have a snow meeting on next Tuesday.
next Tuesday, we're going to have a work session, and by that time, we should have a policy to look at, okay? And so that we could have some discussion.
I'm voting for no snow.
You're voting just no snow. That would be.
Good luck.
Okay, that would be great. It's just that that's not one of our choices, but I agree with you. That's why I live here in the desert, is that I don't get much snow or rain, either one. So the chair would entertain a motion to adjourn the regular council meeting.
Motion to adjourn our regular council meeting.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mayor votes aye, and we are adjourned at 7:43.